So the invention of a transistor made it possible to create a personal computer. And one company, led by Robert Noyce, Intel, have proposed a new concept of production and microchips, an integrated circuit that was designed to hold all of the elements of a computer on the same place. And the story of it is very interesting, is that at that time they were producing different kind of memories, for example DRAM that is still in use, and different kind of chips that could make one or another operation. And once upon a time, a Japanese company, VisiCalc, ordered Intel to produce 12 different chips for their pocket calculator. But at that time, Intel Corporation proposed them not to build 12 different chips because production of one particular chip was a very expensive initiative, but to create a programmable chip, a universal chip that could be used for different operations. And they have convinced the VisiCalc to join this initiative and fund this initiative. But the creations of such a chip took a longer time, and VisiCalc resolved to left this project. But Intel was happy to refund the VisiCalc money because they already see that their endeavors will be successful to own full legal properties and intellectual properties of their new production chip. And this chip transformed the computers that were at that time, because at that time computers were only built as mainframes and owned by the university and defense establishment. But now it was possible to build a fully functional microprocessor that is placed within integral circuit in a very small design, and the cost of such equipment was reduced by 1,000 times. And as an insult to IBM company, who had already monopolized the market of the computations, they priced their first chip 8080, actually not the first but the third one, because the first was 4004 that hold 2,300 transistors on one place, and 8080 hold much more, and they priced it as 360 United States dollars, like the mainframe, the most popular mainframe at that day of IBM 360. And IBM was a very great company, hold $1 billion in their arms. And one small event produced another titan in this market. They ordered the software for their equipment based on the Intel chips for the small company named Microsoft, that was led by Bill Gates. And Bill Gates made a fortune of it because IBM was concentrating their attention in the technical equipment of the computer, but they have not realized that the main value is the software that operates with this technical equipment. And the next period is the most interesting period in the evolution of personal computers, starting from the 1960s. appeared new persons, new people in this market. One of them is Bill Gates. Another is Steve Jobs. In 1964, we already have seen a first personal computer, and it was really a personal computer. It had to be crafted in home by the instruction. Was an Altair 8800 that was based on the microchip 8080 from Intel Corporation. And Bill Gates proposed a new programming language, BASIC, to program such an equipment like an Altair. And he actually left even his university to form his company and to concentrate his attention on production of a software. Bill Gates is a real genius for nowadays that could make it possible to produce a software that is used now worldwide. And another person, a very eccentric person, a genius of these days, Steve Jobs, he actually initiated his company in his garage with his friend Steve Wozniak. Steve Wozniak was a talented engineer that could craft a personal computer, and Steve Jobs was a visionary that could see to what can it be transformed. And they go through all of the evolution of the personal computer along with Bill Gates, with the competition and also with the help to each other. This competition led to a benefit to all of us because the evolution was at higher speed and brought us a better product, a better services. For example, when Steve Jobs proposed his first operation system and his computer Lisa, Microsoft was a company that were intended to supply this equipment with their software, Microsoft Office equipment and environment. And if we will take a look at the Excel, the first application that was built was the VisiCalc that was created to help accountant to produce their numbers, to make their computations easier. And VisiCalc actually went nowhere and they couldn't make a fortune from it. And that is why we had another companies that were much more successful with production of similar products like Lotus and Microsoft with their product of Microsoft Office and Excel especially. And what is more interesting is that both of these persons were inspired by the achievements of the Xerox company. So the first personal computer that they have seen as we imagine it right now was seen in Xerox. But Xerox was a company that have been already successful in another market. So yeah, they have created the first interesting equipment that they named as a personal computer, but it was very costly and they have not promoted it in the right way. And Steve Jobs could make from it a fortune.